Hi guys, I'm Kristen Stewart.
And I'm Angela Couch with Parkside Realty Group.
And your dynamic duo with a resource of information. And today we wanted to go over hurricane prep and hurricane season and what to expect, especially if you're not from here or around here, or what to think.
It's new.
Yep.
And hurricane season begins June and ends in November in Florida. So it runs quite a while. And seasons can run different. Sometimes they can be active in the beginning, sometimes closer towards the end of the November areas. We've been here for quite a long time. So we've been through a lot of hurricanes.
98 hurricanes, the 04 hurricanes, the Matthew and Irma, all of them.
And through our business too, we also provide property management. So it's important for us to also make sure everyone is aware of precautions to take when hurricanes are, in the forecast. It's always hard to say where it's going to go, where it's going to land. Those are the very slow durations of hurricanes. It takes the longest time to find out, is it going to come to you or not? But there are many steps to go ahead and do to prepare. One of the first things you'll want to do is walk the perimeter of your property. Make sure any old tree limbs are cleaned up. Anything that could blow away, float away, cause damage is put away, cleaned up and tidied up.
Yeah, so gutters, you want to do prep before there's a storm.
Yep.
Gutters, trees.
A lot of people forget gutters.
When a storm's called for, you want to do things like clean up your wind chimes and your bird feeders and anything that could, because it is windy, be a projectile item. You want to clean up signs in the yard, which generally isn't a big thing, but sometimes you get the welcome flags, your American flag hanging on your garage, all those things. You want to pull them all in and down. As far as prep for food and water, we're not without power that long anymore. They've got it down to such a science. If you're without power a couple days, that would be big.
The city of Palm Coast has done incredible. Like we said, we've been doing property management. Through property management, you have owners that don't live local. So once we get that okay to go out and check those properties, it is amazing how fast the city is out clearing up the main structure areas, making sure you're able to get to the hospitals, the grocery stores. They tier them in levels of priority, especially with the powers,
the grids,
and the clearance. And all your hospitals are going to get first priorities and first responders.
And then the stores.
And then your shelters and your food supplies come. So it kind of tiers down. And also those power grids, if you live next to one of those structures, you're going to be pretty quick to get your power back on. I think the longest we've gone without power is 1 week.
That was a long time ago, though, and they're much faster now.
Yep.
There are some areas that take a little longer, but like we said, when you're here and you're going through it, it's way less strenuous. The buildup is usually the worst. It's coming and it's taking forever to get here, and what all do I do to prep? For things like water, you don't have to rush out and buy 5 flats of water. Usually you have jugs around the house. You fill a couple. In all the years, I don't think we've ever run out of water.
No. And honestly, you can fill a bathtub.
That too.
You can fill
Works
a bathtub
great.
with water. They have large, you can even purchase like these large plastic containers which you can fill or blow up like balloons.
Into the tub.
Water.
Yeah, I've seen those. You also can here's a trick for your fridge and freezer. So you take a couple bottles of water, drink a little bit out, reseal the cap, put it in the freezer pre-storm. Then you have lots of ice packs that keep because what will happen is you'll lose power.
Yes.
You will lose power. So things like make sure your generator's ready and running before storm season, before a storm's coming, because to get somebody out to fix your generator in the lead up to a storm is way more difficult.
And they also have the new
battery
solar
packs.
pack and the battery packs, which are fantastic for cell phones, computers, those kinds of things. Of course, your internet's going to be based on power unless you have some other type of a system. But a lot of the battery packs even have solar packs that sit out and charge, which work great as well.
Right, which you would use post-storm.
Very important to do not put your generators inside, not in the garage, not inside the house, nowhere, outside
it has
only.
to air. And then the other part to keep in mind, if you haven't bought a generator yet, is you need your running power on your generator to have the capacity to run whatever it is you're running. We unfortunately learned the hard way. We bought a generator where the startup power was different than the running power, and it blew out the motherboard on our fridge, which it was repairable, it was fixable, but also if you're learning about this now, we'd rather you have the information so that you can make that choice.
And when you make those purchases, you can talk about that with them, because there are those surge fluctuations which can, one of the most important things you're going to want to do is keep your refrigerator, your food items chilled, because you don't want to lose that food inventory. And if it does end up being on a wrong system, you could end up after the storm having to buy a new refrigerator. It may run and connect back up and run for 6 months, 4 months, and then it'll just stop. So it's definitely good to check into those kind of aspects. And also, don't run your generator during the storm. Wait till the storm is past.
Yep.
Just hunker down. If you choose to stay, just hunker down and then use your generator after, should your neighborhood and you be out without power.
Right. And the storm usually, I think the longest storm we had maybe was 1 day. So the storm itself, the lead up to and the after counts as post and pre-storm, but the actual storm itself doesn't last that long. And depends, then you can use your resources. The other thing to keep in mind is if the city calls for evacuation, while you have that choice to not evacuate or to follow the orders and evacuate, if they call for it and you're in a location that had a mandatory evacuation and you call for medical help, fire help, police help, it will not come until the storm is done. That mandatory evacuation is because they will not send you any resources during that storm.
Well, they won't risk the safety of their employees to try and get to unsafe areas. A lot of times that's most effective on the A-zone island, because bridges will be cut off. We did have a rough winter where one year we had the bridges froze and there was no access over the bridges at all. So there are different types of reasons why you would lose that ability, but during the hurricanes, the islands are going to be your first high risk zones.
And that will be some of the reasons. So for some local people or people that don't know the storms, if the storm is going to have sustained wind, not gusts, sustained wind over 45 miles per hour, they will shut down both bridges to the island. So if that happens and the storm has that level, they will shut down the schools for the day. And that is why, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that bad. Why did they shut down those schools? It's because they will not take a bus full of children over those two bridges, because they'll shut them down for sustained winds over 45.
Well, also if a city's shut down, there are shelter areas. Sometimes the schools can be used as those as well.
Yeah, most of the schools turn into shelters. There'll be one for pets, so people with pets, and then there will be one for medical emergency staff and people that need more medical help and then the schools have very large generators and things like that to run even in power outages.
Some of the things to consider too is what kind of items you're going to be using. I've seen people tape their windows. I would be very careful with what kind of tape you use, because I've seen people using duct tape and different things. And it is very, very difficult to get the residual off the windows when you have that kind of material on there. If you're going to be boarding, of course, that could be a whole nother challenging aspect as well, because it's going to be a supply and demand, and it's going to be what's going on in the city. If people are all running for plywood, it's going to be a run. If you do end up getting boards and going through that and setting it up, you might want to just set a space and save them. If that's what you want to do. We've been through a bunch of different types of aspects. We did board once.
We did.
And it was a lot of work. It's really totally a preference thing. We have evacuated before. And honestly, every aspect of it is a personal decision and a personal choice.
That being said, we do not live on the island.
No.
It is a very different thing not evacuating when we're buried within the city. The island experiences a lot higher risk, not only because of the ocean and the hurricane coming in, but the intercoastal as well. Those tides can rise 17, 20 feet, and there is not a whole lot of land on the island. So that being said, if knowing what I know and being here a long time, I would not stay island side if evacuations were
Right.
ordered. I would find family inland or find somewhere space inland. But yes,
It's a personal call, really is. And if you're in the area or wherever you choose to live, talk to your community.
Yeah.
You know, they know there's people that have been there a long time. They'll tell you what they've experienced in their area. But Flagler County in a whole does a fantastic job. They really do. We've been
state of
very,
Florida
very
is
fortunate
very good about it.
in hurricanes. You know, that's not to say that we know what will happen or what won't happen, but we have been very, very fortunate.
Yep.
You will find after the storm, there is usually quite a bit of cleanup. Trees do come down. The other thing you might want to know about trees too is that the way the system goes with the trees is wherever that tree is standing, it's that person's responsibility. But from wherever it falls, wherever that property line is, that tree is yours. If the rest of it is on your property, that's your responsibility. The part that's on their property is their responsibility. So you don't have a lot of rights as going after neighbors and stuff like that for fallen trees, because those are more of active natures. So
But
that's good to know.
that being said, if the tree is at risk or dead, you can raise an issue with the city, and the city will flag it and make whoever's property the tree is on take care of it.
Yeah.
Whether vacant land or a residence.
If you have
there are recourses.
if you have an empty lot next to you,
pre-work, not
the
post.
city can come out and inspect those trees and take down any diseased trees or dead.
Absolutely.
And they will do that, which is good.
Right. And if you're ever concerned or have questions or not really sure what resources to look for or how to prep, we're always around. You can call or text us anytime. And
the city site has amazing information on hurricanes, all your emergency network numbers.
Absolutely. We hope this helped clarify some of the muddy waters around it. But if you have questions, we'd love to answer them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.